Hi, I'm Lori Blockus with Om Sweet Om Yoga in Spooner, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to take you through a pretty short but gentle yoga sequence designed mainly for people who just don't want to get down on the ground for whatever reason. So we're going to do some seated postures and some standing postures, but we'll incorporate a chair and just keep it much higher than the floor. So go ahead and grab a chair and let's get started. We're going to start here with some shoulder flexion and extension, so just let your arms hang to start. Keep your shoulders away from your ears here. With an inhale, just reach out gently through the fingertips and arms lift up. You can widen them out if your shoulders or neck are a little bit tight. Go ahead and exhale, arms down, and pull them back behind you a little bit if you can. We'll inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms down and back. Inhale, one more time up. And exhale, complete the motion. Arms are going to pull down and back a little bit. Then you can just let them return to a neutral position, shake them out, maybe roll the shoulders if that feels good. And we're going to move into a cat stretch. Some people call this a cat-cow. It's the same motion. But we're going to let our legs come out quite wide here, and my kneecaps are stacked over my ankles and they're pointing toward the toes. So get your setup. I'm just going to flip to the side so you can see what my spine is doing. So for our cat stretch, as we inhale, we kind of want to roll to the front of the sit bones and lift up mostly through the spine. Think lifting up more than shoving the rib cage forward. Just offer the heart here. Exhale, draw in through your deep core muscles. So muscles in front of your low back spine are pulling in toward the spine and lifting up so you get more of an expansion across the shoulders. Inhale, offer the heart. And exhale, broaden out the back, get a little stretch across the shoulder blades. Inhale up here, and exhale again. So be mindful of this motion. You can make it smaller if you need to. If you have any conditions of the lower back like sciatica or disc issues, you might want to just make your motion a little bit smaller. Always keep it comfortable. We're going to inhale up one more time, and with our exhale, we're going to fold forward into a spinal wave. So tilt the pelvis forward. Legs are exactly the same. Keep exhaling here through your transition and let it start you rising up. So we're just going to unroll the spine. When you get more open through the chest, we're just going to lift that up and offer the heart once again. Exhale takes us forward. Nice slow breath so you can breathe through your transition. So finish it out. Inhale up here, offer the heart. And just relax to a nice neutral position. And we're going to move up to standing. So I'm going to set my chair out of the way. You can keep it closer to you if you like. If you'd like a little support from that chair, just stand a little bit closer to it. I'm going to be facing it. And we're going to start here in a triangle pose. So I'll just be stepping my left foot back. So you can make your feet about as wide apart as is comfortable for you. Up to 4 to 4.5 feet is about as wide as they need to go. Certainly doesn't need to be that wide today. This is much narrower than that. Take a nice inhale, draw in through those deep core muscles so your spine's really long. Exhale, we're going to fold at this front hip crease. So keep your sideways nice and long here. My right hand is going to rest wherever it's comfortable. Anywhere but the knee joint is fine. So maybe that's the thigh, maybe it's the shin. It can be on your chair if that feels right for you. And the back arm is just going to reach straight out of the shoulder joint. You can follow those left fingers with your gaze. If that's not comfortable on the neck, feel absolutely free to look forward or even down toward the floor. Now if your upper shoulder here, if your left shoulder gets a little bit tired, feel free to just rest that down on the hip. And the opposite end of that movement would be to lift it straighter toward the ceiling. drop that lifted arm down, press my legs into the floor and lift up, and just step my left foot forward. So I'm going to reverse the feet here. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, fold yourself to the side at that left hip crease. Your left hand again is going to rest anywhere solid, not the knee joint, shin or thigh, or your chair is fine. And we're going to reach that right arm up, either straight out of the shoulder joint or maybe up toward the ceiling, and even follow that with the gaze. I'm going to keep the shoulders out of the ears here. Watch out that they don't hike up. And with an inhale, we're going to lift up from here. I'm going to step this left foot forward and step the left foot back, coming into a warrior one position. So I'm facing my chair a little bit more here, and I'm going to let my right knee bend just so it's stacked directly over the ankle. So we don't want it to push out toward the toes, and we don't want it to drift inward either. Just keep your shin bone really vertical. And we're going to lean forward just a little bit here. You can rest your hands on your chair. That can be helpful. Find your deep core with your exhale, and just like that spinal wave, we're going to start to lift our body up, just unroll the spine. When you get a little opening in the heart center, go ahead and lift the arms up overhead. If it feels fine for your neck and your balance, you can follow the fingers with the gaze once again. Now, if this upward arm position doesn't work for you, you again might need to let them get a little bit wider out to the side so the neck and shoulders can relax. You might like a cactus arm position. Any of these are okay. And it's also fine to keep your gaze forward or down if the upward gaze doesn't feel appropriate. Release the arms down. I'm going to shorten my stance just a little bit so I have room here. Lean forward so my right leg is my whole foundation. Draw in and up through the core, and we're going to sweep this left leg forward and up into a stork pose. Your leg does not have to lift this high. You might want to keep it lower or even have the toes just touching the ground till you get the hang of the balance. If you have pretty solid balance, feel free to lift those arms up once again. We're going to keep the gaze down toward the floor here. Go ahead and release the arms and the legs down, and we'll repeat our warrior one on the opposite side. So I'm stepping back with my right leg, and I'm going to let my left knee bend, just stack it over that ankle. Lean a little bit forward. You can support yourself here on your chair. Exhale, find your core. Let the tailbone tuck with that and just unroll the spine, get a little bit taller so we have really good length in the entire spine. And arms and gaze can move upward. Wherever they're comfortable for you is just fine. So remember to relax in the diaphragm here so you can take a full breath. And we definitely want to keep the lower back comfortable, so stay long in that area. And I'm going to lower my gaze and my arms here. Again, I'm going to shorten my stance a little bit. And coming into that stork position, so leaning forward, really engage the deep, deep core muscles so you have a lot of support from inside. And just reach that right leg up to your comfort level. Maybe the arms lift, maybe they don't. Whatever works for you is fine. Go ahead and release the arms and the legs down, And we're going to take a standing forward bend here to lengthen the hamstrings and perhaps release the lower back just a bit. So I'm going to be facing my chair, but I'm spaced away from it so I have a little room to move. My feet are about hip width apart here, which is not as wide as we might think it is. It's about 2 fist distance between the arches of the feet. So you can just eyeball that up. You don't have to bend down and put your fist there. So strengthen the legs. Nice and straight if that's comfortable. If you find that's not comfortable for the lower back, soften the knees right away throughout your entire motion here. So we're going to inhale, find your core. Exhale, fold forward from your hip hinge. So that deep core is supporting your lower back here. If you need more than the core can give you, place your hands on your chair. And as things start to open up in the back of the body, you might find that your hands can get a little bit lower. So perhaps they can make it down to the floor. It's certainly not required. Keep them as high as you are comfortable with. So we're really just letting the body hang here essentially. If it's comfortable for you, you can let your head hang and just really gently move it around to loosen up the neck a bit. So to come up and out of this position, I am going to soften my knees here. And we're going to come up with an exhale, just like we did in that Warrior One. So find those deep core muscles with your out breath and start to lift yourself up. Just unroll the spine here. When you start to feel more open in the heart center, go ahead and sweep the arms up overhead if that's comfortable. And with your next exhale, just drop the arms down, and we're going to find our way back to our chair. So we're coming into a spinal twist here. My legs are closer together, hip width or right together is fine. And we're going to inhale and sweep the arms up and overhead, get tall through the spine, really press those sit bones down. And exhale, twist to your right. So left hand's going to hook around the right thigh, and the right arm is going to catch the back of your chair if it's there for you. So keep a little eye on your knees here. If your right knee starts to drift well behind the left, you're probably turning from the hips just a little too much. So keep your knees in line with each other and let this just be a spinal twist. With your next exhale, go ahead and release the twist back to center. We'll inhale, arms up nice and tall again. Exhale, reverse that twist, so moving toward the left here. You want to be sure that you can take a complete breath while you're twisting. So if you feel like your breath is sort of cut off, whether it's in the chest or the belly, you might want to just make your motion a little bit smaller so you can use the full volume of your lungs. Eventually you'll be able to breathe completely and move more deeply as well. So with our exhale, we're going to release that twist, come right back to center, and that will complete our practice. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.